Hi, and welcome to Have a Chat. I'm Veronique Arsenault, your host today, and I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, Judy Loge.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody, to the show.
Again. I know, we're missing Audrey.
We are missing Audrey.
But she had some work stuff to do, so we're okay with that.
That's right.
I know.
How was your weekend?
It was fabulous.
Hot.
It was hot.
I'll take it.
I know.
I love it.
Well, we've been crying for it for so long.
People were saying, "Oh, I can't take the heat." I'm thinking, okay, now we're down to what, 24 today, and it's going to be really like low 20s all week.
I'm not going to complain.
I loved it.
Not at all.
Yep.
I don't love hot weather.
I do.
I'm around 25 and I'm good.
No, I'm like, I love it.
Yeah, no, I'll take it anyway. After the winter we had, I'll take it.
Exactly. So do you have the thought for the day?
I do.
Okay.
And it's short and sweet.
All right.
And it's by the famous philosopher Will Smith.
Oh. Actor.
Everything you want is just on the other side of fear.
That's about right.
Yeah.
That's about right.
Because you know what? That's what stops us most, right? Is our fear of whatever could happen.
Or who might critique us, or who might say bad things if we're doing, say, a performance, like what they're going to judge you on.
Yeah.
And who cares at this point because you're doing it for yourself?
Giddy up, let's go.
That's right. That's right. So
you and I get on, and Audrey, we get on here every week live.
Yeah.
We never know what's going to happen.
That's right. So we've been way past that fear zone for quite some time now.
Yes. Well, going on 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Hard to believe.
It is.
Now, this weekend, there was some pretty fabulous things that happened on Saturday.
You mean that last weekend with the Josie Foundation?
Well, we'll start with we'll go back another weekend.
Let's go back to that one because our show was with the council. I hope everybody got to see the mayor and council,
and if
new
not,
and old
check it out. It's on Facebook.
Yes, it is. So just to recap quickly on the Josie Foundation, that was a beautiful evening.
Incredible.
And I emceed that, and I was so honored because our guest speaker, as people may have known, was Aaliyah Summers.
Yes.
8-year-old survivor of leukemia.
Amazing.
A terrific battle, and she came out very strong, very much a survivor. She was the guest speaker and gave an eloquent speech for her age on bravery, overcoming illness.
I heard it was amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
And again, people were there to support those who are going through life-threatening illnesses. And every donation made goes to giving help to those who may need treatment. If they can't work because of medical illness, they can get groceries for them out of the funds, gas, whatever may be needed. So it was a beautiful, successful evening. And very proud of Aaliyah Summers for doing that.
So I'm going to pop it in there because I know you won't. That you and Gerard made a phenomenal donation that night as well of $25,000 of your hard-earned money.
We did. And again, we sat down and said, what better cause, what better foundation to give to than those who are, there's always somebody out there with a chronic or life-threatening illness.
Yep.
You can just go next door, look at your
Everybody
neighbor,
knows
look at your relative, and somebody has something. And hopefully not necessarily as serious as leukemia, but they're out there. And every penny of what we donated will go to helping those in need. So you couldn't have a more feel-good moment from our end, knowing exactly how many people that will help.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say thank you on behalf of everybody in the community.
Well, you're very welcome.
Yeah. It was a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
So then the next weekend, there was some more wonderful things that happened at the Relay for Life.
Yes.
It was the 16th year this year.
You're kidding.
I know.
I thought maybe 10th.
No, 16th year. And on Saturday, Kingston, and I don't know how many Kingston's Petro-Can.
4
years.
No, 4 locations.
4 locations. 4 years. I don't know how many years they've been doing this, but all of their sales, their gas sales, the proceeds went to the Relay for Life.
I thought that was so incredible that I phoned this morning Brian at Kingston's, and I asked him specifically, I said, we're doing a talk show today, and we want to give pay tribute to the Kingston family for giving this money towards cancer and the Relay for Life. He told me that between the 4 locations on the river, the gas totaled in one day $2,476.40, so that $2,000 plus money went to help the cancer.
And they've been doing that for years.
And that's a wonderful thing to do.
I
so
know.
kudos to that family for the generosity.
Well, and I went on Saturday to the Survivor Lab. I went to see that.
Great.
Yeah, I love that piece every year. And it was wonderful. I mean, we get to see everybody walk the track, and then there was the luminaries and all the teams that were there. So it was an Audrey, of course,
including our own Audrey with her Pink Ladies team. Good for Audrey.
Yeah, in memory of her dear friend Maureen.
Proud of Audrey and everyone that walked the walk.
Yes. So now we're going to talk about something really yummy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. So we're actually joined by, we have such a full show today. We've actually got guests on our quick chat portion. So we've got Jillian and Victor. Yeah. So Victor Summers and Jillian Duplessis from Creative Grounds, and we're seeing you there now. So welcome to both of you.
You look so sharp
Thank
today.
you.
I know.
Good to be here. This is every day for us at
We
Creative
love
Grounds.
it. I'm a fashion buff, so I love the look, and I want one.
I know.
Yes,
Not to
very
start
good.
working.
We can't have them though.
Yeah, there's a reason why we dress like this, and we'll get to that.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
that's good.
So for people out there who may not know who you are and where you are, Victor, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, I'm a husband and a father. First off, I lead actually a small church here in the city called Eastside Church.
Yes.
And we meet at the Vogue Theater weekly. So that's kind of my main gig. And then coffee barista is something new for me, which I'm really enjoying. So
It's not really a side gig though, because you're pretty busy with both, eh?
it is, absolutely. Although I still volunteer at the cafe, so that's where I volunteer, and yeah, I am very busy with all of that.
Yes,
We're gonna
it
hear
never
more.
stops.
Yeah, good.
And Jillian, tell us about you.
Oh my gosh, should I
You're a
start
twin.
With, yeah. Should I start with who my father is? It might help people figure out who I am. I got back from Australia in October. I
Wow.
was living there for almost 2.5 years, and then I moved back home, and I'll be starting school in the fall.
Oh, good.
And in Oz, they drink kind of barista-made coffee constantly. And when I found out this place was open, I walked in and saw his wife Jody, and I was like, all right.
I gotta be here.
Plus, you're very social. We know from your high school days, I do, how active in theater and how personable you are. So what an asset to your business.
Oh, absolutely. When she agreed to come on, and all the staff that we have here, they all started volunteering for us, and so she come on. She was willing to do it for free in the beginning, and we're like, yeah, you're in.
Yeah, we love you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bring your friends, right?
Yeah.
Good things come to those who wait, right?
Yes,
So
of
now you're
course.
employed there.
Absolutely, yeah.
I love coffee.
Yes.
Like love.
Yes,
So
You've been sampling the wares.
oh my gosh, it's so delicious.
it's very good.
What
Yeah.
did you bring us today?
Jillian?
So we've got, here is our vanilla chai latte.
I tried that.
And this is a bit sweet. And then we've got a Americano, which is just an espresso shot with hot water added to it. So it's quite flavorful. It's the closest thing for an espresso coffee, but closest to, I guess, percolated coffee.
Nice.
Yeah. And then we've got a vanilla iced coffee, which we just added to our menu now.
Just got that in.
Yeah.
Well, what a perfect time of year though to start with
know.
the vanilla iced coffee.
With the hot weather started, we had a lot of people coming in asking. So we're like, it was always a plan for us to have iced coffee and frosters, which is a blended coffee, espresso-based coffee.
Okay.
So we said, yeah, we gotta move on that. We got a new ice machine just freshly in, and we're slinging some cold drinks.
So we know you're located on Kennard Street.
Yes.
And so tell us about how this came to you, this coffee, also tea in there. Do you have tea also?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so how did you get the idea for this? Was it something that you loved yourself and thought, I would love to share my coffee ideas?
We need to do this.
Yeah, I'm very
how?
much like you. I love coffee, and used to hang out at a coffee shop in Chatham. And when it closed, I kind of lost my spot. And Eastside Church, after we acquired the old Lions Club, as we call it, then that started thinking, well, what are we going to do with the building? And when I realized there was no coffee shop on that side of the river, good coffee shop, then I wanted to make sure that, the dream started, what if? And it took a while for us to get going. People always say that the coming soon sign was up in the window for quite a while, but when it's kind of volunteer based, and donation was what we were counting on to get the coffee shop up and running. It's very much a social enterprise for us.
Yes.
Okay.
So there's no big investors, no backers, that sort of thing. It's
You're not
very,
making millions.
Not making millions.
Yet.
It's grassroots.
Yet.
It's grassroots from people who love coffee, and all of our staff. The big hurdle to get over is what we ask them. Do you love coffee? Yes. Okay, that's ground one. And do you love people?
Yeah.
And if they love those two things, then we start talking about what kind of skills they bring. But those are the biggest ones for us. We're very much about building community. And it just so happens that we have excellent coffee as well.
Well, and I've heard that from.
You were talking about something besides coffee.
Well, because I'm not a coffee drinker, right? But I have been in actually quite a few times for a couple of reasons.
I know.
Number one, your hot chocolate is fantastic.
Yes, it is.
And I am a hot chocolate drinker. And number two, your cinnamon buns.
Yes.
They are to die for.
Yes, very
Nice.
very good. We do have a few sweets available.
And your cookies, by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody out there, they have cookies.
Yes, we do. Yeah. So we source those things from local bakers, and Country Charm, which is just around the corner, has been so good to us in providing those things for us. So there's no flour on my getup today because I don't bake.
Yeah.
But we source those from them.
Yeah.
When I first walked in, I thought I was in Toronto.
I love it.
Like I walked in and thought, feels like when Jennifer, my sister who lives in
Yes.
Toronto, and I go in for coffee in the big city or in Montreal, it has that atmosphere and modern feel to it. And so how did you and your wife decide on the decor?
Well, it kind of happened itself. The building, of course, 1856 was an old bank, and one of the things we wanted to do was kind of take that environment and just kind of add to it. We didn't have to do much because it was such a beautiful old building to begin with. So
it's just so warm and welcoming.
Beautiful.
it is, absolutely. And so we dress like this, kind of dress it up a bit, and kind of like bankers, you know. And so when you walk in, it's a century-old building, which comes with a lot of history and so on. So
Put all your money in
it's
these
always
pockets.
been good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, the tips go in there.
that's right.
But it was nice because the atmosphere is very much come in and have a chat, right? Like a lot of people come in to study or meet up, and they want to try and they feel quite comfortable in our cafe. And I think probably one of the best compliments that we got was from a 6-year-old. I think she walked. Yeah, she walked in with her mom and she looked around and she goes, "Mom, is this someone's house?"
Oh,
Yeah,
no, it is so warm.
Yeah, it's very
it's
comfortable.
The few times that I've been in it, you always do see that. You see, somebody playing a guitar in the corner, and you see somebody studying in another corner.
Music plugged in, reading a book.
Like families playing like games and having a coffee. Like I love the fact that it is so open to the community and that people feel so comfortable doing that.
Yeah,
Grand.
someone asked me one time similar question, how did we build that atmosphere, right? And I said, well, for us, it's always been not about selling coffee, it's about building community. So when you start with that as your DNA for any business or organization or not-for-profit, then that becomes your focus, and that's really the outcome of how you started. And so for us, it's been making a comfortable, safe place for people to come and have a say. Yeah.
We like that.
I jotted down a few thoughts just because I could try to rhyme them all off correctly, but just in front of me, I have some benefits of coffee too, because people have that question, is it good for you? Is it not good for you? Caffeinated coffee cuts mouth and throat cancer risk by 50%.
I need to start drinking coffee then.
Coffee can reduce the risk of stroke as much as 22%.
Wow.
Coffee decreases the risk of type 2 diabetes.
Really?
It's high in antioxidants. It is shown to assist in reducing several other cancers, such as liver and liver disease, not just liver cancer, but liver disease. And coffee also improves your cognitive function, and it decreases the risk of depression.
Wow.
Goodness.
There's a lot of really wonderful things. On the flip side, the Mayo Clinic states that consuming more than 500 to 600 milligrams of coffee, though, may lead to irritability, nervousness.
But that's all you ever hear is
but look at the perks to drinking coffee.
Yeah, we're going to live forever.
Well, I mean, I was excited about these things. I was really excited to see how healthy it is for you.
That's what's going to happen.
If it's in moderation, those are the benefits.
Exactly. And I think it also pertains to what you actually put in it as well. So
You
if you're drinking kind of Americanos, it'll be fine. But once you get into sort of sweeter drinks and more sugar and
what's your most popular?
Right now, it's actually our brewed coffee is what we sell the most of. So we have 2 different roasts that we sell. All our beans come freshly roasted from Nova Coffee in Nova Scotia. And so it's roasted, and then it's in our coffee shop the next day.
Yeah,
Nice.
They're small batch roasted.
Yeah, so our brewed coffee, and then Americano would be next. They're very popular, just a really good cup of coffee. And then I think chai latte
for sure.
is a very popular drink with everyone. So
You do decaf?
We do decaf. Actually,
Nobody wants decaf.
Yeah, we do. We do our decaf Americano style. So it gets brewed through our espresso maker, and
That's really cool.
so it's a good cup of decaf coffee if there is such a
Yeah,
thing.
because I can't drink it after noon or 1 o'clock. I find it just keeps me
Yes.
awake too long. So I would love to have decaf. Those cold winter nights when you're at the rink or something, it's great.
Absolutely, yeah.
Love it. So you're excited about this whole thing, and you're meeting all kinds of new people.
Yeah, and we've got different things that we bring into the coffee shop as well. Like we do our coffee houses, which is music. We bring in a lot of people just volunteer to play, and we clear out our front room and fit about 30 people in there. And we have specialty drinks that we do, and people come in and play music, and we turn the lights down and put the fairy lights on and stuff. And
Is this weekends, Jillian, or special every other month?
It's every second month. I think we're doing now. So
Okay.
it's the next one is June 23rd.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
7 to 9. So
You
we
singing,
just
Vernie?
have-
Of course. Maybe they'll let me sing. 'Cause
Our
nobody
last
else
two
will.
coffee shops have sold out. They're ticketed events, so we limit the audience, and it's a really great intimate time to be hearing some really great talent on the river and enjoying a
It's
cup
only
of coffee.
$8.
Yeah,
$8 to a
Yeah.
social night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for anyone who doesn't know, we have to let them know exactly again
Yes.
where you're located in Miramichi East.
Yeah, we're actually the Vogue Theatre. We're kitty corner to the Vogue Theatre, or directly across the street from the Petrocan in Chatham.
Yeah.
And you have a Facebook page?
We do.
Yep.
We do Grand's Cafe.
Okay. And
Yeah.
and if we wanted to call you, do you have a phone number?
You can call my cell. I get cell calls all the time. Yeah, 625-1835. Call me anytime. I answer day or night.
625-1835.
Yep.
Okay. And what's the name of your Facebook page again? I missed that one.
Just Creative Grounds Cafe.
Creative Grounds
Yeah.
Cafe.
And
Okay.
that's where we
And
post a lot of
and we find,
information.
especially with our own Facebook page, that's where we get the most kind of
Yes.
connection, right? So, so we're just about to go to break. But any new things coming up besides your cold stuff?
Yeah, we're always looking at where the trends are going, and right now my roaster is telling me that the coffee shops are all about cold brew.
Oh.
Cold brew coffee takes about 24 hours to brew a cup of coffee using cold water.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that. So that's going to be next for us.
Nice. Always
Interesting.
thinking, always making great creative ideas.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Creative
We're always
Grounds.
bringing something new. We always do sort of a drink of the month as well.
Oh, neat.
So right now it's our Frosters, the
Yeah.
blended coffee drink that we talked about. But
Now that summer is here,
Yeah.
you'll be seeing business booming.
Oh yeah, for
Absolutely.
sure. And don't miss out on the cinnamon buns. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It goes perfectly with the coffees.
Excellent drinks I have tried today, so
I
thank you
know.
very much.
So
Thank
right
you.
before we go to break, tell us again how we get a hold of you. Facebook and
Yeah, best way is Facebook, Creative Grounds Cafe, or you can reach me on my cell, 625-1835.
excellent. Well, thank you
Beautiful.
so much for coming.
You've been wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
I know. Well, Judy drank most of the samples. So
I just woo!
I know she's going to be buzzing. She's going to be flying home without the car.
I'll be
Yes.
walking.
Yes.
We'll come back right after break. Thank you to both of you. See you soon. Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I'm Veronique Arsenault, and I'm joined, of course, by my fantastic co-host, Judy Locher.
I pay her to say that.
Well, yes, and well.
Here's a quarter.
Thank you.
No, it's nice.
Unfortunately, Audrey had to be off today. She had some work commitments, so it's just the two of us today. But
She'll be back.
we have so many guests too. We're
Yes.
not lonely.
What a full show today. We
We're
love that.
Not lonely, I know.
More than here.
So we had a great first section with Victor Summers and Jillian Duplessis from Creative Grounds,
Lovely people.
and now we are joined by the fabulous John Bosma and Donnie O'Neill.
They are fabulous. I've known them both for a long time.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Nice you could be here.
Yes, we're so glad to have you. Now, John, tell us all about you.
About me, well, I'm married with 2 grown-up children and 5 grandkids, and
You're 5 already.
Donnie's going to beat me on this one, but I'm retired and spending time now writing books, or I'm also doing biographies of Miramichiers.
Wow.
And,
Beautiful.
yeah, and I have a book launch coming up. We'll talk about that later, and yeah.
Retirement's pretty good for you then. You're getting lots
bad.
of things
Lots
done.
done.
Right.
And you, Donnie, tell us about you.
I can't write.
Okay.
I type with one finger at a time.
Good, yes.
Those are good things,
Yes.
not your faults.
I'm presently married
Good.
to
Good.
my first wife. I have 4 children,
Okay.
all living in Ontario. I have 10 grandchildren,
Oh, wow.
also living in Ontario. And I'm married to a grandmother.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
I had to think about that for a minute. I'm like, what now?
He's
Yes.
so funny. You could be out
We've
here as a
been,
comedian.
we've been married since my wife was 18 and I was 19.
Isn't that something?
So I guess I have a keeper for a while.
You do? To
And
put up
unless
with
you
you?
unless you change, maybe kicks me out.
After this show, she might.
Both
Maybe.
former teachers have a wonderful
Mm-hmm.
reputation. Taught all of your career. That's what you did in
All
your
my
whole
career
career.
was at Harkins.
Harkins.
So actually, that's what we're going to talk about today. So you're joining us both of you today because the Harkins High School Centennial grads, the grads of 1967, there's a reunion.
Right.
So tell us about that.
67.
I know.
Okay, well, we got a committee of 8 graduates together and started, I think, back in September. And been meeting like once a month, and we have come up with a fairly good program for June 30th, July 1st, and July 2nd.
Oh, the long weekend.
So much going on that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Busy.
amazing.
A lot of reunions at that weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, and anyway, I think we have another meeting next week, and then I think we pretty well have everything ready to go.
But it is a huge undertaking to try to get the word out to those people. So you did it through
Yes.
social media, basically, or a lot of phone calls.
A lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of mouth to mouth, which is word
Yep.
of mouth.
Yes.
Mouth to mouth.
Yeah, almost. And maybe that might be something going on at the dance. Maybe.
That'll be the next time, right?
Yes. But only with spouses.
Right,
Not-
yes. We don't-
I don't
we-
think we can dance with any old
He's
girlfriends
so
or
funny.
boyfriends.
No,
She's
we
so-
don't like the
But-
mouth to mouth with the old ones.
No, and we have our valedictorian Brian Richard. He did all the he would get all the emails and he would send out information.
Wow.
So yeah, we've all been busy, and it's we've been meeting at another graduate's house, Janice Roy.
Mm-hmm. I know Janice.
Janice, and yeah, we've. It's been kind of enjoyable to talk about old times.
Yeah.
And wait
that
till
sort
you
of thing.
see everybody. You might recognize everybody, actually.
Probably-
that happens,
probably
you know.
not. Probably not.
They'll know
Yeah.
that you two haven't
Well,
changed at all.
That's why we have
why we
this-
have our
Oh, see,
pictures.
that's
why we
such a
have
good
our tag.
idea.
Yeah.
Now, how many graduates have registered so far?
54, I think.
Looks like
Oh,
that.
that's
of
quite
139.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and with spouses, girlfriends, or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're over 100 and some people. at that
Wonderful.
function. Yeah.
So where is
Great.
the opening night going to be? For example, a dance for an opening?
At the Kinsman building.
Okay.
We have that rented.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Prior to that, we're meeting at Harkins in junior high school,
Right.
just for a
Nice.
walkthrough on 3A, John.
Yeah, well, from 3 to 4 we'll have a tour of the school.
Memory Lane.
And the picture of all the grads on it was sent up to Miramichi Valley, but we'll get that back because the school closed down in December.
Of course, yeah, with the new school
And,
that was built with Max Aiken.
And anyway, so we're going to meet there first, and then we'll go at 7 o'clock to 10 o'clock. Will be our meet and greet at the Kin Center. And we've got we have a DJ hired, Ev Gray,
Fun.
Oh,
He's
yes.
wonderful.
and we have
All 60s music.
Yes.
Oh yes, only
course.
60s music. We
Yeah.
I
don't
wish
take
I
anything
could go.
else.
I wish I
Well,
was
you-
old and like
we
Absolutely.
we are allowed
Older.
to sneak people
Yeah.
in the back
We
door.
are.
I mean, not old.
That's my favorite music, I'll be honest.
Me too.
Yeah.
You're going to
That's
have
my
a
favorite
complete
era.
ball.
Well, you girls had to wait at least until the 80s and before you enjoyed the 60s music.
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it now,
Yes.
actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are there people that you cannot wait to see? Are there some that you've not seen like for years and years, or do you keep in touch?
No,
With a lot.
no, we haven't really, and there's I have been in touch with a few by phone and email, and we just say glad to see you again, and
Yeah.
just to see what everybody's been up to.
It's kind of like some families. Like some families are very, very close and see all the time. And
Yeah.
there's other family members that you never get to see
It's true.
unless there's a wedding or a funeral.
Right, yeah.
But with high school, it's kind of hard to keep
Yeah.
touch.
It's different, eh?
Yes,
Yeah,
quite so.
my 25th was last summer, so it we had probably about 50 attend as well, but with spouses and everything. But there was some I hadn't seen in years.
I know. My
Yeah.
10th was last year.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes, I remember that one.
I remember my 30th and I was like, I remember you. Some people don't change at all.
No, that's
No.
right.
We
And
have
other
several
people.
teachers coming.
Oh,
And,
really?
We haven't asked them yet if they want to stick around to supervise their dance.
I think they should.
We were thinking about putting a ruler where they're sitting.
Yeah.
Because at one time they used to sit, make sure the dresses were up a certain
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
yes.
kidding me.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That is
So
insane.
that's the first night. So what do you have going on?
Well, on the first night also we have a museum. We've collected a lot of old memorabilia.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And we have we're going to be selling this book here, which I only have 25 copies of. So, but anyway, it's called the former students and faculty of Harkins High School, and it has biographies and some of the former grads who are no longer with us, so I have them in there too. If I could get their obituary, I'd put it in.
I see,
Oh,
John.
my
So
goodness.
this is compiled by none other than John Bosma.
Yeah.
And it's fabulous. And we have purchased his book that you've already written. I have a personal copy, and my family members.
Right,
and
right.
so, is this your third book now?
Oh no, well
You keep on going.
Yeah, I guess so. I've done a series of biographies, not written by myself, just a couple. On this was the first one here, Miramichi Lads and Ladies, I call it.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the
Dragon
the
Boat.
Rotary. Yep. The
That's a Rotary
yeah.
Club of Chatham, which we belong to. That's
right.
a picture of. I'm
Yeah.
so excited to
isn't
see
that
that.
beautiful?
And this, I've just finished the 10th one. I'm going to publish the 11th one in a couple of
goodness.
weeks. This is Logieville, and I have some Logievillers in here, so I thought I'd use that.
Isn't that
And
beautiful?
so anyway, getting back to that night, we'll be doing this book first, and I say I only have 25 copies, but people can order them. That's no problem.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that night at around 8 o'clock, we're going to introduce our teacher guests, and then we're going to have an in memoriam for there are 15 students that were in our class. 2 of them, I think, might be 3 that didn't graduate, but still they were in our class, so we put them on.
Yes.
And then we'll introduce our teachers, and then at 8:30 we're going to start taking. We have a photo booth. So we're going to start taking pictures first with the whole group of the
That's
Centennial grads, and then we're going to move on to the whole group because there are other grads coming as well, and maybe Judy Loge will show up.
Well, there you go.
What would I do? I'd just take
you
pictures.
You sit
of
right in the center because that's,
I'm the oldest
Yes.
student. Yes, I'm
No.
one of the first
And-
graduates.
and then after that, during the once we get the group shots, then we're going to let people just go up a few at a time. We'll get their name and email. And Brian Richards is going to take the pictures, so we'll send all the pictures to
Wonderful.
them.
Nice.
after
You've
it's
been
over.
planning very well.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good job John's on the committee, because when there's a task to be undertaken, John goes full out.
Gets it done
yes,
really
there's
well.
no question
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
amazing how
Well,
creative he is.
and we have Janice Roy and Brian have been doing a lot of work, and you, Donnie, and then there's
Ernie Malby.
Elwyn Hubbard, Ernie Malby, and
Marion Fitzpatrick
Marion Fitzpatrick,
Okay.
and
Carmel Henry.
right.
I know.
Henry.
We call
Yes.
it Carmel Henry. Well, we're using all the ladies. We're just using their maiden names.
Sure.
Right.
And I know most of these people you're talking about. It's going to be a fabulous time.
Yeah.
We kept our own names.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
You know.
So people know
So
us.
unusual.
Let me see. So that's a picture of you
That
when
is
you were
me.
like what age group now?
67.
18.
That was
That you look so cute. Look at that little face.
What do you mean, look so cute?
You look so. You are so cute.
Still
See
so
you,
cute.
John.
Still
Look
so
at that baby face. You're
Of course,
very neat.
I know.
quite a few less wrinkles then. But
Stop. So who does your photography for these books?
Well, I have different people. Like this one I did, but
Beautiful.
this one here was done by Carl Steimus in Logieville, and then there's a young fellow in Nappen, Kevin McGraw, who's been. I had another one of his, and this one, which was in
beautiful.
Nappen.
Beautiful.
They are gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, just in case there's still some grads out there that haven't registered, can they
Yes.
still?
Oh,
Yes.
Mhm.
And go ahead.
They can, but it's going to cost them
Yeah,
big
it's
money.
gonna
Well, good
No,
job.
Yes, darn right.
No, well,
It's
actually-
$10 per person.
$10 per
Friday
person,
prior
yeah.
to.
All right.
If you show up at the door late,
Yeah.
another $5.
$15.
So it
It's
cuts
not
back
too
into your
bad.
beer drinking.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So and what they can do is if they're still around and they want to pay in advance, they can go to Norm's Barbershop, which is where
Oh, yes.
Janice is working.
Yes, she's so much
Yeah,
fun.
yeah, she's been looking after all that, and yeah.
So meal-wise, food-wise, do you have
Just-
some nice plans for barbecue or other than the dinner?
Finger food and Friday nights.
Friday night
Yeah.
finger food.
And then Saturday, John's doing a book launching at the Miramichi Golf Club.
Miramichi Golf
okay,
and Country
wonderful.
Club, which will
Good.
be this book, Fat Jack, His Fatmobile, and the Fat Cave, and other stories.
Fantastic
Yeah.
title.
Yeah, and there and on here, I don't know if you can see it, but that's the room, which is no longer closed that all in, but that was the Fat Cave. That's where we went after school.
Oh.
Those people that
Okay.
weren't behaving, yeah.
This is quite the title. Fat Jack, his Fatmobile, and the Fat Cave, and other stories of Harkin. I can imagine the other
We're
stories.
not allowed to say who the gentleman is.
No, no.
Who Fat Jack is?
Or what the other stories are.
No,
Donnie, you'd
no.
have a few, wouldn't you?
I have a couple, but I was innocent in most of those.
Oh, yeah. Really?
This is, I love how you inserted your name on the door
Yeah.
That was
as
pretty
the
cool,
author.
isn't it?
I think that's
pretty cool.
pretty creative.
So,
Yeah.
any favorite stories from back in the day?
We're not allowed to tell them.
No, no.
Ones that you
We're
can
we're
say
live. We're
on
live.
TV?
Well,
Well,
no,
there's lots of.
there are. I remember one in particular was I was in the drama club there, and Donnie played basketball, so he has lots of stories about sports. But I on Friday, or I guess Friday, I went home and I must have maybe I had to stay in again. I got a drive with somebody, and they kept looking at me funny. So I said, "What's going on?" So I came in at the golf club, was where we lived, right? When I was at high school, we lived there from '61 to till I got married.
How nice.
And then they said, that's enough. They kicked me out. But I remember getting in the house and saying, I don't know, this guy kept looking at me. And my mother said, well, because you have little dots all over your face. I had measles.
Oh, you have the
Oh,
measles.
no.
Dots
So that's
connect to
fine.
that.
They cleared up by Sunday. And Monday I went to school and gave my,
Oh my goodness.
gave my excuse. And then the teacher, Mrs. Budd, said, just excuse me a minute. And she went down. And the principal came back and he said, you had measles. I said, yeah, but I'm okay now. No, he said, you're not. So he sent me home, and we had drama. Like our play was coming up. So the drama teacher, Don Mahoney, would sneak me in after school. Everybody was gone.
Oh, no,
He'd sneak me in, and we'd practice the play.
Oh my goodness.
Well, we had to. We were like, it was like
There
the
was no
last week or
stopping
something.
you.
No.
What
Wow.
about you?
Yeah.
Donnie, you
There
must have a
was-
couple.
Well, when he mentions measles, I can remember, this is before high school, they used to quarantine families. And they'd put a red sign on your house or a red dot in your
Oh my
house.
goodness.
And because, like milkmen, whatever, and icemen. you could
Right,
bring
because
a
they go
junk of
house to
ice.
house.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you had to stay in your yard. And a strange story, because John's dad worked at the bakery, at Jim Bakery, and Charlie and Bill Dinlow ran the bakery at the time. And I can still remember him flipping a quarter across the fence to me in the yard, and hear me just, I was done. Like, he was such a great man,
Wow.
such a fantastic man.
Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, the two of them died in, what was this, 58? wasn't it?
1959.
59?
December 16th,
Yeah.
1959.
Wow.
Up
They
at
died in
Castle
the-
Machine Works,
Oh,
fire.
Yes,
Oh,
of
right.
course.
Collapsed on us.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful man.
Anyway, they
Well,
were
speaking of that,
fantastic.
Donnie, I'm glad you mentioned it. This book is dedicated to Charlie and Bill Delano.
Isn't that lovely?
And there's a picture of them there as firemen. And of course, I put in the fact that Norman Delano, who graduated with us, was his son. Sandra Delano was our secretary, and Brenda Delano was Bill's daughter.
It's a whole
but that-
family.
So, the two men, who were they? They were firemen, and how were they related to the school?
Well, the reason I dedicated to them, basically, I guess it's a personal thing. They were the ones that brought us from Holland to Canada.
Oh,
My father got a job as a baker, and
Isn't that amazing?
so they built a house for us
Yeah.
right behind the bakery.
Yeah.
That was on George Street,
Yeah.
right across from my home.
Yeah.
Okay.
So John and I grew up.
Yeah, we've been friends since, well, for 62 years.
So say this again. They passed away
Yeah, at a fire.
on
1959.
fighting a
Okay.
fire in
Okay.
December of
Up on the top of
1959.
James Street
Okay,
here.
Right,
I didn't
right.
catch that.
Yeah.
That
Right,
is
right,
so
right.
Right
sad.
across from Dorn's.
Yeah.
Yes,
Recycling.
recycle. What
Yes,
a
of
beautiful
course.
tribute
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were. I know Charlie. I didn't know Bill well, but Charlie was a fantastic man.
Well, that makes me
They're
feel
very
good.
good to my father,
I
too,
know.
so.
You did a great job dedicating that. Then you
Yeah.
picked the right people for it.
And it's kind of fun. Well, funny, but it's you know how things happen. I ran into Norman one day at a mall, and he said, "I understand you're a grandfather." And I said, "Yes." Well, I had been. This was my third grandchild. I said, "You're talking about Annalise? That's Garrett, my son's daughter." He said, "Yeah." He said he was born in December 16th. She was born on December 16th. I said, "That's right." I said, "How did you know that?" Well, his daughter was friends with with Garrett's wife, Elizabeth. So he said, that was the night I lost my dad.
The anniversary.
And it was
of the-
exactly 50 years later.
Yeah,
Exactly.
see, there's some kind of
Do
weird.
you know someone else who was born on December 16th?
You? You?
No.
No,
You?
his,
My
his
daughter,
daughter.
Pam.
His
Oh,
daughter.
really?
Yeah.
There's a
John
lot
was-
of meaning there.
Yeah, there is. John
Yeah.
was up home that evening.
Well,
with-
actually, we were both teaching at Harkins Junior High, and we had a Christmas concert, and we kind of helped with that. And then I drove him home, I guess. So we sat around, and I said, I didn't want to go home yet. I kept him up, fortunately, because just after I left, his wife says, "We got to go."
Oh my
We're in
goodness.
the hospital.
So
I
there's the
brought my
December
catcher's mitt.
16th. No.
Caught
I'm sure
the-
she'd love
yeah,
that,
Caught
yeah.
the second one. Yes.
So
funny.
just before we finish with you both, so tell us again how we get a hold of you if we want tickets, if we're graduate from that year and we want to come celebrate with you.
Okay, well, anybody can phone either one of us, anybody on the committee. They can also go in to see Janice on the town square, and which is the only round square in the world. I always found that interesting. And the Saturday night dance.
Rock and roll dance.
Yeah, the rock and roll. We're
Right,
going to go to
of
the rock and
course,
roll
yeah.
dance, and we're going to have a Harkins table. So if they want, if they get tickets on their own, they should let us know, so
Yeah.
we'll know how many. Or they can get tickets through. Janice has been getting a lot of tickets, so they
Wonderful.
could ask her. And then we have a brunch on Sunday at the Riverside Entertainment
Yes.
Center.
Wonderful.
So as long as and there's
And there's a brunch at the golf club. when you're
Yes.
doing your book.
yeah, as a
And
matter of
it's
fact,
$6.70.
70 cents.
That's it?
67.
I asked for
Wow.
a 67 special, so they.
Yes.
That
Very
is
good.
awesome. You
Yeah.
guys are
Okay.
great.
So we're going to thank you both for coming today, and we hope that you have a fantastic
You
turnout.
will.
Thank you both for joining us
Thanks
today.
Have
for having
fun.
me.
Yes, sober night.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sober.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
that's right.
So it'll be the grads of 1967 from Harkins High School. So we wish you all the best, and we look forward to hearing all the stories about how that all unfolded that day.
Yeah.
So don't go too far. We'll see you right after break. Thanks.
Okay.
Hi, and welcome back to Have a Chat. I am your host today, Veronique Arsenault, and I'm joined, of course, by my amazing, wonderful, gorgeous, talented, incredibly fabulous co-host, Judy.
Now, there must be more words than that, Veronique, to describe me. I mean, could you not come up with one more adjective?
I don't know.
No, she is so sweet. She's trying to make me feel good because I hurt my ribs on the weekend.
I know.
I banged the car door into my rib cage.
Yeah.
Came back and caught me. So I'm in a little bit of pain today.
You know, the three of us are a little bit accident prone.
Yeah, well, I'm not usually, but the door just slammed on them.
Yeah.
So if I'm breathing a little bit funny,
Yeah.
I missed the rib fest. So I thought I'd have my own. Yes.
You're always funny. And of course, unfortunately, Audrey isn't with us today. She had a work engagement. So, but we have had such a full show, Judy.
I like that.
I know.
It just
It's been
rolls,
nonstop.
interesting people,
I
lots
know.
to talk about, different ideas and
And now
different
we're going
things.
to talk about my favorite subject.
Mine
food.
too.
Mine too.
Mine too. Mine too.
So we're going to welcome Brian Matheson from Mindful of
Hi.
Food.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
mindful.
so excited
Glad
to
to be
have
here.
you. So tell us, just in case anybody out there doesn't know who you are, tell us about you.
Well, I'm from Nova Scotia. I grew up in the country.
We adopted you.
I'm not one of those kids that grew up, wanting to be a chef at 12 years old.
Okay.
No.
It was one of I did a little test at graduation time as to ideal professions
Sure.
for
Oh,
you.
yeah.
They put your info
Yes.
into a computer or whatever,
Yeah.
and chef was one of the top ones. And I was like,
Right?
whatever. you know?
Really?
Nothing had crossed your mind about.
Well, I loved food, but I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't have any experience that drew me into it.
You didn't have
At
anybody
home.
that you knew.
Now
either,
we had
probably.
big gardens. I worked on farms.
Okay.
There was lots of wild berries and fruit everywhere. Like
What part of Nova Scotia?
This is Pictou County.
Okay.
So yeah, between Pictou and River John, right out in the country. I was surrounded by farms. I didn't grow up in a farm, but we did have big vegetable gardens and fruit trees and berry
Pretty
trees.
country.
Oh,
Beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful place.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Miramichi?
So hands-on with food, that felt real comfortable with me, for years. And I booked out of there to Toronto, right out of high school, and I ended up working in a kitchen part-time just for extra money.
Yeah.
And it just kind of, I got the bug from that.
It clicked.
From the cooking, from the environment, from the staff, working with the waitresses. It was a little open kitchen, and I got to dialogue right with the customers, and that drew me right in.
Wow.
I spent 5 years cooking full-time in Toronto,
Oh, wow.
and then became friends with one of the waiters. We were best buds there for a while, and he convinced me to go with him to Vancouver. He convinced me that we
Really?
needed to drop any baggage we'd accumulated in our lives in Toronto and
Head
start
out
fresh.
west.
So I did that.
Wow.
And, you know,
So how'd you end up
Vancouver's
here?
quite a culinary.
A beautiful girl
Center.
brought him here.
Like,
I'm
yeah.
going to guess. Is that the truth? A
That's
beautiful
right,
girl?
yeah. So I met a waitress working at
Jacqueline?
the same place that I was.
Okay.
And she finished her education degree in Vancouver at UBC. And she was working. She needed work while she was,
of
you know,
course.
on the spare list, you know,
Yeah.
substituting. And eventually we started dating, and then we moved back east.
Girl whose family grew up in the Miramichi.
Yeah, that's right.
Beautiful person.
So I was working in Nova Scotia, and eventually she moved down there, and we lived in Wolfville. We lived in Kentville. I worked in Wolfville. She worked in Wolfville, and we were there for 4 years. We got married when I was there. We had our first baby there.
Yeah.
Our daughter Ellie was born there at Annapolis Valley Regional Hospital, and that was just a great spot to live and work as a chef because of the
Acadia
bounty
University's
there.
too. Like, so
Oh,
you have
the
a lot
bounty
of,
there. I worked at Atkins Cafe, which had a long history already. I worked under Vernon Boston, and then the new owner, Drew Rutter and McKean from Calgary. So I learned a lot from those guys. And a couple of other chefs that went through too. You know, I learned a lot in that little period. And we had fresh fish coming from Digby.
Oh yeah,
my
of course.
Fresh halibut that was as big as this table.
as big as this table.
Oh yeah, full halibuts,
Oh, see,
like
I'm
just
not
out
a
of the water
fisherman,
that
so I
morning.
don't- and I
No,
eat
I
fish,
wouldn't
but I don't really catch
Oh,
them.
yeah.
So I'm thinking, wow.
You and I
Yeah.
would not do well at
And
the fishing.
Not
a
a-
halibut
no.
this size, that size would be worth like $1,000 now. The halibut prices are so high. A lot of fish.
Yeah.
It's
But
so
you bought,
expensive.
but you bought it just for the halibut.
Scallops. Yeah, well, it
Just
was
the halibut.
pretty cheap back then. A lot of stuff. You know, we had fresh picked mesclun greens, like baby greens coming in. I
Fiddleheads
just
and all
picked
that
that morning at farmers market. There's wild mushrooms coming in the door.
Yummy.
You know.
Wow.
But
Yeah, we had-
It
anyway.
all sounds fabulous.
Yes.
Anyway,
It's a big
I was up
calling.
here visiting one time. Of course, the in-laws are here, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Frank and Florence were up visiting them,
Yes.
and Frank and I went down to O'Donoghue's pub. And I walked into O'Donoghue's, and
The original
Where's
Anthony Hughes.
what's that? The original
Yeah.
O'Donoghue's, and they didn't have a kitchen yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was sitting at the bar, and Mike O'Reilly was bartending. He
Yes.
did a couple nights a week, and I said, Mike, what's going on? Was there no food? And he said, well, they're putting a kitchen in, and he kind of opened a door, and there's this big hole in there, and a fellow that I hadn't quite met yet, Chopper Robinson,
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
was throwing a sledgehammer around in there by day,
Yes.
clearing out the kitchen, and so I got in touch with Troy and Carla, and we worked out a deal and a menu, and I came up, and
And it was so
After a while, yeah.
You
fantastic.
So that
are
was a
an
good
amazing
experience.
chef.
Yeah.
well, that was a good experience at the time in
The food
getting,
was
in getting a
fantastic.
kitchen set up. Like
Excellent.
Chopper and I were going
Yeah.
to auctions, and we're trying to get the best deals out of
Yeah.
equipment suppliers, and
But you
there's a
do
lot of
make delicious
do-it-yourself
food. I can
things.
testify
Well,
to that,
thanks.
as can Veronique
I know.
here.
I loved your food.
Yeah,
Wow.
I had been
Just a
cooking kind of more elegant or nicer food, especially in Vancouver. It was drifting a little more towards bistro food in the valley at Acton's, and I really wanted to get back to a little more community
Yes.
pub food, whatever.
Yeah. Fish cakes were to die for.
I worked at an Irish
Crab
pub in
cakes, too.
Vancouver, so that was a fit. It was a gastro pub, so I
Neat.
kind of brought that to O'Donoghue's a little bit, and I realized pretty quick that you had to have something for everybody in the
Yes,
neighborhood.
for
For the guy
sure.
who just will only eat fish and chips and chicken
Yeah.
wings, and
That's
then the
right.
person who's looking for
Salad.
something new and
And-
finer and
Yeah.
a little more
A little
interesting.
more adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
So now you
some
have your own
world flavors.
business.
Well, yeah. After that first edition of O'Donoghue's closed, I worked for Ponds Resort for a couple of summers,
Right, yeah.
That's right.
and the seasonality of that wasn't great for me, and the winters are long, and so I thought I'd take a crack at opening my own business. I wanted a break from a la carte cooking in restaurants and so on. So I
Sure.
thought, well, have a go at having a catering company, and I'm making some food for resale for Mill Cove Coffee. So that's kind of something that's a little bit different, and maybe I can market that a little more.
Sure.
that
And you've
angle.
partnered
I
with
can do some teaching.
Governor's Mansion.
Yeah, Mike Mercer and I. He's got a dining room, and I've got a well-equipped kitchen. He's got a commercial stove there, but the space isn't really well set up for like a restaurant. Neither of us really want to
Right.
open a restaurant in Nelson out of that. He's got his hands full with other things. He's building an apartment building there, and
Good.
yeah,
He's got a lot on the go.
Yeah, he's got a lot on the go, and he's involved in lots of sort of boards and so on.
So you offer brunch, lunch? What do you do
Well,
at Governor's Mansion?
Well, that's by reservation only, and
Okay.
we'll basically do anything for anybody as long as it sort of makes some sort of financial sense for us. We have to have enough money to make it worthwhile, but it doesn't have to be a lot.
It could be a
few
dinner
$100.
for
We went
12
for Mother's
people.
Day.
$200
We
will
went
open
for
it.
Mother's Day.
Beautiful
Yeah, that's
setting
That was
too.
beautiful.
We've done birthday parties and
Retirement
parties
parties.
and board meetings. People who are having yearly meetings and they have a dinner. Lots of different things.
So just tell us briefly what's on that menu for people that want to book, for example, their father's 60th birthday party.
Well, yeah, we've done lots of things. It's usually a little more finer food,
Such as?
Well,
Like you do nice cuts
We
of
had-
prime,
well-
like prime rib
Well,
and steaks.
I'll give you an example because Mother's Day was
Yeah.
fantastic. So we had a lobster roll, but it was on bread that Brian had made himself.
Love lobster.
It was a
I
focaccia
made
roll of his own.
focaccia, so I made a
It was fantastic.
big pan of focaccia, and then I just cut it into hot dog bun,
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm hungry.
sized a little bit
Oh, you
bigger,
should be.
sized strips, and then cut a center in.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So you do
we
the potato
just
salad
kind of
and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Isn't
So
that
we'll do
awesome?
buffet
Oh, so good.
service like that. I've done some reprises for on demand, like by request of the old Donahue's menu.
Oh,
So
yeah, I'm sure.
seafood roulade and
Yeah.
Dubliner chicken and
Nice.
The Dubliner
You can do
chicken
some-
was my favorite thing
do
that
some
you made.
curries
Yeah.
and things.
Yeah.
Dubliner chicken.
It's usually a 3-course menu
Uh-huh.
at the Governor's Mansion. And, we'll give a choice of starter, so like a soup or a salad, or some sort of a nice starter, and then either a soup or salad as an alternative to that, and then usually a fish and a meat, and then I'll do one dessert. But I'll make or provide another dessert. There's a lot of people who really need specific dietary.
For sure. Gluten sensitive
Yes.
people.
Yeah, gluten.
People are diabetic.
Yeah, I usually stay away from nuts as a rule.
Nuts.
When the groups are bigger.
Stay away from nuts, like the nuts section.
Yeah, the nuts, yeah.
The nutty people.
Yeah, that's why I'm in the kitchen. I'll leave Mike to deal with all the nuts.
Stay away from nuts too, but you deal with two
Yeah,
right
that's
here. I'm just joking.
But
Yeah, you can't tell who they are until after a few
Well,
drinks
that's
have
true.
been
Yeah,
served
well, that's
too.
right. Yeah. But so before we get too far into some of the other stuff you're doing, tell us how we get a hold of you if we want to have some catering done.
Well, you can get a hold of myself or the Governor's Mansion through the Mindful of Food Facebook page, or Facebook page for the Governor's Mansion, or we both have websites.
Mindful food. I love
Mindful
that
of
type.
food, yeah.
I love that topic.
Yeah.
And I
That
didn't want
title.
it. I didn't want it to be too specific to catering necessarily, because I'm open to doing consulting work for food-based businesses if they think I can help them out with menu planning or cost analysis or getting a business set up.
Brian
Or
was very
teaching.
kind,
I
actually.
teach.
When we opened Seasons View, Brian came over and sat with my chef Lisa and really was a great support to us in the beginning to help us walk through even suppliers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. I remember
yeah,
that now.
yeah. It
I'm
was
not
it was
surprised.
very much appreciated at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Well, I worked for a restaurant in Toronto, McSorley's Saloon and Grill, and
Oh.
they opened up in Leaside, which is I don't know if you know where Leaside is.
Leaside?
Judy?
No, I don't.
Okay, that would be Eglinton and just east of Yonge Street,
Oh, okay.
like Mount Pleasant. But then you go over to Bayview, and it's kind of a little upscale.
Oh.
And this guy Todd that I went to Vancouver with, he grew up in that neighborhood, and they had a pub there, but it was dysfunctional at the time. The owners were in the middle of fighting and getting divorced, and they weren't paying attention. And the two guys that opened this up, one guy had been in the business for years as a manager, and the other guy bought and sold restaurant properties. He was a commercial real estate agent focusing on restaurants.
Wow.
So he found this old Hungarian restaurant in this neighborhood that was needing a neighborhood pub and eatery. And they opened it up and they had a lineup right around the block with no advertising.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
In Vancouver or in Toronto, they spent $70,000 and they had a business that boomed for years.
Booming.
And John, the manager, you know, he always said that we have to be good to our neighbors in the hospitality business because you never know when we're going to need help.
We need them back, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you need some chicken, you ran out of you run out of
That's exactly
oil for your fryer.
Yeah.
Tell me, I have to
Call
know,
somebody up, you go get it.
on the subject of food, what is your all-time favorite dish to prepare? Just give me one that you really love yourself and you love
don't
to
know.
spend time cooking and serving.
I just can't do that.
You
I
can't?
mean, no.
Not one?
Is there one that you find exceptionally challenging to make?
Time-consuming and
Yeah.
tricky?
Well, some of the quickest cooking proteins like can be the most challenging. Like really delicate fish, like thin fillets of sole or turbot, or calamari.
Oh, yes. I don't
Calamari
like
is a
it.
good example because it goes so quickly from being undercooked to overcooked.
Yeah.
You know, things like souffles have to be very properly timed.
Right.
Once you start down the road of a dish like that, you can't stop, right? You have to carry it right through until it's to the table, and everybody has to do their thing right. The server has to be there right away when it's ready to be picked up. It can't sit under a heat lamp.
Yeah, I suppose.
You know, you can't get it out there and then the customer's in the bathroom or out having a cigarette. All these things have to work. So,
That's
yeah,
right. Tricky.
there's dishes like that. Like as far as food that I love food.
What's your
I'll
favorite
eat
food?
Everything. Italian food.
Oh, do you love? I love
I
Italian
love
too.
curries. I love South Asian food. Thai, Malaysian.
Me too. I love all that.
Mexican food.
So we're running out of time.
Already. Yeah.
We're running out of time, so we want to make sure that everybody can get a hold of you again, Brian. So tell us
Yeah.
how we find you.
My Facebook page, my website. You can get a hold of me. Like all the contact information is on the website. Mindfuloffood.ca.
Mindful of food.
Okay.
Brian at mindfuloffood.ca
Oh, that's
is an
easy.
email address.
And then your Facebook page is also Mindful of Food.
Yeah.
Facebook.
Mindful.
So exciting to hear about
Yeah,
all
well,
this
thanks.
good stuff and
Yeah.
food and recipes and your
Yeah, and I'm
catering.
trying to carry that through to volunteer work too.
For sure.
I volunteer with the Food Security Network.
Yes.
I'm on the board of directors for the new nonprofit company that just got the contract for the
elementary.
cafeteria at the
Yep.
elementary school.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to that
that's
too.
there's no money to be made for me there, but I'll lend my expertise to the operation of that. And
so
I've
that,
got a great board there. They're so strong. Like they're all very
Wonderful.
just so that
professional
everybody
people.
knows
They're
what
all
that
women,
is.
actually.
So the new elementary school cafeteria went out for tender,
Yeah.
and this nonprofit organization
Yeah.
has won the bid,
Myself and a group,
Yeah.
we put this company together.
and it's going to be like
Yeah.
fresh prepared food, correct?
Yep.
Yeah.
And on a
Yep.
side note, his wife is the new vice principal of the new elementary school.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
That's right.
Street School. So
So I'll be getting
congratulations,
daily reports
Jacqueline.
on the
Yeah,
food quality.
Jacqueline Petrie.
Oh,
Yes.
isn't that
That's right.
wonderful?
Isn't that beautiful?
All right. Well, thank you so much, Brian,
Well,
for
that went
coming.
by quick.
You made me
know.
hungry.
We had such a great show today. We want to make sure that you head to Brian's Facebook page and all of our guests today. If you haven't checked them out, make sure you do so. And also check out our Facebook page. So on behalf of Judy and, of course, Audrey, who isn't able to be here today, we say thank you for tuning in, and we can't wait to see you again next Monday.
Have a great week.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.